In 1985, he co-founded America Online. He took the company from its primitive dial-up days to one of the biggest media mergers ever. Case went on to invest in the next generation of disruptive companies. They include Zipcar and Living Social. He's the author of The Third Wave, an entrepreneur's vision of the future. The book is published by Simon & Schuster, a division of CBS. Steve Case joins us now. Welcome.
Oh, good morning.
What is the third wave?
It's really taking the internet to the next level and really integrating it in every aspect of our lives. Education, healthcare, food, transportation, energy, really important parts of our lives that actually haven't changed that much in the first wave or the second wave. So I think it's going to be an exciting time.
So how will it be manifest?
Take healthcare, for example. Right now, if you go to the hospital, it works about the same way it did 20 years ago.
With all the forms you have to fill out.
Fill out different forms and having a more personalized approach to medicine, where you can really have a better sense of what's happening, tools to stay healthy, manage chronic disease, or education. The way there are computers in classrooms now, but the way most kids learn is about the same. New systems that allow for more personalized, adaptive learning are becoming more possible. But this is going to create some challenges because the entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley all around the country that want to tackle health or education can't just focus on the software, they focus on the apps. They also have to partner with some of the institutions and also understand the role of government because many of these sectors are regulated. So I think it requires a different mindset, sort of a different playbook for this next wave.
And you make a very key point in this book, how government should play a role. How is that?
Well, the reality is these sectors are regulated, and actually the government's a large buyer of things like healthcare and education. So you can't ignore them. You may not like it, but it's a reality in the third wave. So the successful entrepreneurs are going to recognize that and figure out a constructive way to have a dialogue with government, figure out ways to partner with government, and make sure the right policies are in place to allow the United States to flourish in this third wave.
But you say government treats startups and entrepreneurs the same way, and they should, or small businesses, and they shouldn't.
Yeah, small businesses are very important, sort of the Main Street businesses, but the real growth in terms of job creation comes from these young, high-growth startups. So you kind of need different policies to support small businesses versus these higher-growth startup companies.
Well, I think you should be treated with respect at this table, Steve, because you were the director of new pizza development.
Yes,
for
that was a real highlight of my career.
Which you said to this day is still the best title you've ever had.
No question. I travel around the country eating pizza. That was my job.
Did you change pizza?
Well, this was 30 plus years ago, and pizza was just at the time experimenting with things like delivery. So now it's become much more.
But you seem to have seen things that other people didn't. You said back in the day you had to convince people, listen, the internet is really going to be important. And people really didn't understand that, Steve.
Well, we started AOL, only 3% of people were online.
Yeah.
They're only online 1 hour a week. So we said we wanted to get America online. We were serious, and it really took us a decade before most people thought it was going to be important. It seems crazy now, but that was a tough decade, and that's one of the lessons I learned. I think will also apply in this third wave. It's going to require perseverance. Occasionally you'll get lucky and have an overnight success, but the perseverance that's going to be necessary to really revolutionize learning or food or healthcare is going to require kind of a long-term, kind of built-to-last mentality.
But you said some of the best ideas sound crazy at first. You said if you had thought about Uber and Airbnb, people would have thought the fact that they're a successful car business without owning a car.
Right.
They're a successful hotel business, sort of, kind of, without owning a hotel. That bosses need to let their employees think outside the box and try crazy things.
And I think the big companies do have an opportunity in this third wave to innovate and disrupt themselves, but they really have to lean in the future. They have to create a culture around experimentation, not just trying to kind of play defense, but play offense. You kind of be, the entrepreneurs are typically attackers. Large companies are typically defenders. In the third wave, there's going to be more partnership, more co-opetition, and the big companies can play a role, but only if they reach out and partner with and connect with these entrepreneurs.
But is it likely that Microsoft, Apple, Google, Facebook, and Amazon will control the future?
It's likely that many of them will, but it's likely some new ones will emerge that didn't exist. When we started AOL 30 years ago, even when we merged with Time Warner 15 years ago, a lot of those companies didn't exist. Facebook didn't exist at all. Amazon was still mostly selling books. Google was just doing search. So it shows that innovation creates new opportunities. Some seize those opportunities, others going to get left behind. But I think part of the message I'm trying to convey in the book is not just about the business side, the entrepreneurs or the corporate executives. Everybody needs to control their career. Everybody needs to control their destiny. Even the notion of work is changing in the third wave. Instead of just having a job with a company, 34% of people now are freelancers, and this whole gig economy has changed. Sometimes you work for multiple companies the same day. So everybody has to understand the world is changing. How do they position themselves, not just their company, to be beneficial beneficiary of that third
And
wave.
every company, no matter what the business is, they are a technology company
Absolutely.
today.
I even mentioned in the book that people talk about in the internet-enabled economy, and nobody talks about the electricity-enabled economy. We just take it for granted. I think in the third wave, we'll take the internet for granted. It'll just be baked into everything in a more pervasive, ubiquitous way, and that will create opportunities and challenges for people, as well as for companies, and also even for governments. How do you figure out a way to manage and regulate in this complicated, third wave? That's why I finally decided to write a book. It's complicated. I'm very optimistic about the future, but I did recognize that it requires a different mindset and kind of a
it's so
different
much more
playbook.
than a business book, too, Steve.
Yeah.
So
Well,
much
thank
more, you were very
Yeah.
candid about all your ups and downs.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot. People learn more from mistakes and lessons. I tried to communicate a lot of those
You
in the book.
did.
Steve Case, great to have you here at the table.
Thank you all.
And the third wave goes on sale tomorrow.